Hello and welcome back to the Learn Adobe Experience Design CC course. In this lesson we're going to be taking a look at borders, fills and shadows in Adobe XD. So we have our screen design where we left off. We can select this top rectangle, zoom in slightly, and we can tick the little box next to border, specify a border color using either the sliders or by specifying a 6-digit hex color. We can also adjust the opacity of the border, so drag the slider to the left to make it less visible and to the right to make it more visible. And of course we can also adjust the width of the border. To hide the border again, just select the tick box. So for the fill, if we select the color swatch here, again we can either use the sliders or specify a 6-digit hex color. So a nice shade of blue there. And we're also going to change the color of the background. So if we click on the artboard title, My Awesome Artboard, we can then click on the swatch and again use the sliders or specify a 6-digit hex value. So we've added a background color. However, the lighter shade of gray now seems a bit lost on top of that. So let's select this circle first. We can either specify a different fill color here, or we can select the eyedropper tool and sample exactly the same shade of gray, just for consistency. Then we can select the light gray rectangle, select the fill color, and drag all of the sliders to the right. This will give us white. So this stands out a lot more against the new background color. Now we can also add shadows, so let's select this white rectangle and we'll tick the shadow box. Now you can specify the offset of the shadow, so the X position moves horizontally and the Y position moves vertically, and B stands for blur. So let's set this to 0 and 0 to start with, and we'll set the blur to 20. So you can see that the shadow blurs around the edges of this shape equally on all sides. However, if we set the Y offset to 10, it moves down 10 pixels, and we can offset this even more. So let's go 30, and we can adjust the blur to 5, so the shadow is a lot sharper. So let's go back to 0, 0. Let's offset this slightly below, so let's go 3, and then have the blur set at 6. So it's a very subtle blur, very subtle shadow, but it just helps to lift this white shape off of that background. And we can also click on this swatch next to the tick box, and we can adjust both the color and the opacity of the shadow. So at the moment I've got all the sliders set to the left, that's black. If I bring the opacity up, you'll see the shadow becomes a lot harsher. So I'm going to bring that back down. I'm going to go for something like 10. So it's really subtle, but it's still there. Now at the moment this shadow is only covering this white rectangle, and ideally I'd like it to span the width of both of these. So let's select this white rectangle, drag this over to the right. Okay, so we can see that this is on top of the grey shape, that's fine. Just make sure it snaps in place there. And then go to Object, Arrange, Send Backward, and note the shortcut key there. And you'll see that now the grey rectangle is on top of the white rectangle. And there we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.